Hi, I'm John Crossman and welcome to Video 101. In this segment, it's a little different. It's not really instructional. It's going to be talking about an interest in having a career in television or video. I will say that, video is ubiquitous now. You've got good cameras on your phone. You can edit on a tablet or your phone, or certainly a laptop or a good desktop computer. So the ability to actually do video is easier than it's ever been. I've been in the business 30 years, and I can't tell you how many times I've tried to tape this segment and I get distracted. So I've actually written kind of a script or an outline, and I hope to stick to it. There are other videos in this series that you can listen to that are a little more drawn out and a little more wandering in their storytelling ability. But at the beginning, if you're considering a video career, I've come up with kind of a checklist that I think is important to think about. Now, I didn't think about any of these things when I started, but after 30 years of doing it and reflecting, these are questions that I've come to answer for myself as to why I like it, or the parts that I don't like. Or I've seen many people that have talent but don't really stay in the business. I've seen people that don't have any talent that just can't help themselves, but they want to be in the business. And so this list is kind of a result of that. If it's something that you have a passion for, like painting or like singing or songwriting or playing a band, well, that's good. And you're going to need that passion, because while there seems to be, it's like being an actor, I guess. There's a certain amount of glamour associated with working in video or television, and yet it's really very hard work, even if you're an actor. Actors are just people like the rest of us. Video people are just people like the rest of us. And at the end of the day, it's long hours, it's variable pay, there's a lot of stuff you got to put up with, and so it really is just another job. But what I will say is that as a musician, which I've been a lifelong musician, the satisfaction I get from pleasing a client, putting together a really good story, being able to pull off a complicated explanation in a simple way, visually, the satisfaction that you get is very similar to other artistic endeavors. When you paint that picture and it's, you go, that's what I was trying to do. There's great satisfaction in it. And I think that, if you want to be an accountant, there can be great satisfaction in doing that too. And so some of these questions on this list are really about any kind of career decision you're trying to make. And as I go on in this series, we'll talk more specifically about video in particular, and why it's a good career. And even last night I got a question on Quora, can you have a career as a video editor? So this series is an attempt to try to answer that in a thoughtful and maybe too long-winded way, but here we go. So my checklist I've come up with in considering being in the video business, the first question is, what draws you to it? Is it the money? I will tell you, like any other career, there are a handful of people that make really good money doing it, but that most media places, including news, including networks, including corporations, kind of use this either intentionally or unintentionally, use the fact that a lot of people want to be involved in this industry as a way to keep prices down. The TV station I worked at, the cliche line was, well, if you're not happy, I got 50 other people that'll take your job tomorrow. Well, why would you tell someone that unless you're basically trying to underpay them for, whether you're underpaying them for their talent or you're underpaying them because they want to have a career and you can't buy a house at $500 a month, or whatever the reason was. But I've seen it overtly used, and I see it subliminally used to this day, in that people think it's a fun job, so we can get people who will want to do it and pay them less. The second thing on my checklist is the ability to touch people's lives, and that can be through teaching them, trying to inspire them, trying to inform them, trying to motivate them, trying to share information that you care about and think that they should care about, trying to move people to action, or simply just you like to entertain people. None of those reasons are better than any other reasons, and it's something, but all those reasons are something that video can do really well if you know what you're doing and use it. The next point is Glamour, which I kind of mentioned. I worked at a TV station in town when I started, and to this day, when people find out, oh, you work there, it has a certain cachet to it. Does it deserve to have a cachet? I don't know. Personally, it's not impressive to me because I've worked there. But to other people, they go, oh, well, that must have been fun. Well, it was fun. The next thing is you've been told that you're good at it. You have an eye. You have a way to compose a shot. Maybe you shoot still photography, and people have really liked the pictures you've done, and so you're going, well, could I apply that to video? Well, certainly you could. Or is there another reason that drives you? And this isn't a way to discourage you or tell you you have to have one of these reasons or some other reason, but at the end of the day, a job in video is work. And the example I give is, you go to a jazz game, but you're working the jazz game. You're not watching the jazz game. You might be able to go to a great concert, but you're working the concert. You're not watching or listening to the concert. You get to go to a lot of weddings if you like weddings, but you're not part of the wedding. You're shooting. You're working at the wedding. And when the wedding is over, everybody goes home and has, the rest of their life, and you're in a dark room somewhere putting all that footage together and trying to, tell the story of the wedding. Which, if that's your idea of fun, which it's my idea of fun, then you're okay. But if that's not your idea of fun, then you need to be aware of that before you go down that road. Another thing, trying to keep this short, is where do you live? If you're in a major urban market, New York, LA, Dallas, Atlanta, even Denver, there's going to be more opportunities to get into the video business than there's going to be in Goodland, Kansas. How many wedding videographers can Goodland, Kansas support? Until it just becomes, who can do it for the lowest amount of money. And that's never a good situation to be in. But if you want to, sing country music, you need to go to Nashville. If you want to be an actor, you either go to New York, Chicago, or LA. If you want to be in network television, you either go to New York or LA. If you want to do commercials and high-end production like that, then Chicago would be a good place to go, because that's where all the ad agencies are. Why they're there, I don't know, but that's where they've congregated to. I've got friends that worked on national campaigns for automobiles, and they lived in Detroit. Well, if they lived here, they never would have gotten that opportunity, because the car companies are in Detroit. All the ad agencies have big offices in Detroit, and they use the people that are there. Now, there are always exceptions to the rule. I know people that live where I live here in Utah, and they fly to LA and do work. They've done enough work in LA that now when productions come to Utah, they're sought out to be the cameraman or to be the location scout or whatever their niche is in the video business. But all that takes time, and it actually takes going to those places to get known by enough people so that, maybe you can eventually live where you want to live and still continue to do that kind of work. But if you live in Salt Lake City and you never leave Salt Lake City, the chances are your ability to do a network show or a major motion picture is going to be severely limited because this is not where they're done. They're done in LA. So those are some things to think about. In the next video, I'll talk about the way that I got into a career in video, and that was starting at a local television station. My name is John Crossman. You're watching Video 101. Thanks for watching.